The college football playoffs are officially over, and wow, what a season this was. Whether it be the big upsets or just the big time players willing their teams to big time wins in big games, this season has truly been amazing. Today we're going to be ranking all the college football playoff teams in order. This is going to be a very exciting video, so sit back and enjoy. At number 12, I got Boise State. Now let's just get this started with, this isn't a knock on Boise State being last. Every single team who I ranked deserved to be in the playoff for one reason or another. However, in my opinion, Boise was just the worst out of all of them. Led by Ashton Genty, this wasn't your typical group of five team. They were a grinded out team that primarily relied on their offensive line to generate holes for their Heisman caliber running back. In the end though, they just didn't have the defensive athletes on that side of the ball to stop Penn State's offense. Shout out to Spencer Danielson though, Boise's head coach. He's doing an absolutely phenomenal job there. At number 11, I got SMU. At their best, they could easily be a top 8 team on this entire list. The only issue though is that they have a major turnover problem. Like we saw in their playoff game, in the first half alone, Kevin Jennings threw 3 interceptions, which pretty much sealed the game as it was. However, when their offense was on during the season, they looked like they could pretty much hang around with pretty much any team in the country. The future is very bright at SMU under Rhett Lashlee, and I'm honestly really curious on how they're going to build after this really good season of theirs. At number 10, I got Clemson. Overall, a very up and down season for the Tigers. At the start of the season, people really wanted Dabo's head after that really bad loss to Georgia. And then again after that, after their really bad loss to Louisville. But in typical Dabo fashion, he saved his absolute best for last. In the ACC championship game and their playoff game, we saw glimpses of what this Clemson offense can be next year and how good they can truly be. We also saw Cade Klubnik come into his own and become a really good player. This offense next season, returning all 3 of their top receivers and Cade Klubnik, could become a top offense in all of college football. And with a lot of their defense returning too, this team could be competing for a national championship next season. At number 9, I got Tennessee. Overall, a great season for the Volunteers. Unlike Tennessee teams of the past, this team under Heupel had a great defense that found success against almost every team they've played. The only issue, however, is that this Tennessee offense just was not up to par with the defense, and they struggled throughout the season. Even though this Tennessee team had Dylan Sampson at running back, this team just couldn't find consistency in the pass game at all, making them very one-dimensional throughout the season. Despite the offense not living up to expectations this season, this program that Heupel is building in Tennessee is very strong, and I could see them becoming a contender within the next few years. At number 8, I got Indiana. Now, this team hasn't had much of a quality win all season long. However, they have looked consistently good all year round, and to add on to that, they don't have a bad loss this season. Despite offensively not playing very well against Notre Dame, their defensive line really impressed me in the fact that they did not give up and they held their own against one of the nation's top offensive lines. I'm curious to see how they look in the future, but I don't think it's crazy to say that the sleeping giant of college football has finally awoken. At number 7, I got Arizona State. By far, Arizona State is the biggest riser when it comes to where I would have put them before the playoffs and where I put them now. This team in their sole playoff game has truly impressed not just me, but the entire country as a whole. Cam Skattebo looked like the best back in the country during his playoff game against Texas, and Sam Leavitt looked like a future day 1 draft pick. With most of their team coming back next season, minus Cam Skattebo, I'm very curious to see how this team does as a whole. Kenny Dillingham is a young star in the sport, and I'm really curious to see how he builds this Arizona State team and what they have to come. At number 6, I got Texas. By far the toughest ranking thus far, they're definitely just looking like a better version of Tennessee in my opinion. They probably had the best defense this season, but like Tennessee, their offense always seemed to lag behind them. Like many other people, I was always just questioning on when their offense would step up and reach their true potential. But they never got to that next level, so that's why they're at 6 right now. Despite their offensive struggles though, their defense looked like the best in the entire country, especially during the playoffs where they limited Ohio State to just 21 points. The winning has just started in Austin though, and I'm excited to see what Texas does in the coming years. At number 5, I got Penn State. This team was legit. Despite losing to Notre Dame, this team truly showed that they can compete at the highest of levels. Led by Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, this team truly showed that they can run it on about anybody, and unlike other teams on this list, they use the run game to set up the pass. Sadly for them, poorly timed mistakes were their downfall, But I just see this team as a team that'll keep building for the future, and they're just going to keep getting better and better. I fully expect Penn State to be back in this conversation next year, as a lot of their guys are returning to the team. The big question, though, for this Penn State team heading into next year is, will they have a go-to guy at receiver they can just feed when they need to? At number 4, I got Georgia. The reason they're here is I just respect their resume in the regular season way too much to have them any lower than number 4. With 2 wins over Texas and other quality wins as well, Georgia has traversed one of the toughest schedules in the entire country, and they won the SEC championship. Defense has been absolutely great, led by Jalen Walker and that ferocious D-line. Sadly though, the offense, like the 2 other SEC teams, just didn't live up to expectations. Although their offense was serviceable, I think we all expected more of that run game. However, even with that, they're still a top 4 team in the country. As always though, there's absolutely no need to worry if you're a Georgia fan, as you guys are going to be back next year. At number 3, I got Oregon. Like Georgia, I just respect their regular season way too much to put them any lower. To say the offense was explosive would be a massive understatement. Dylan Gabriel had a great season, and Oregon overall showed that they can compete with the big boys. This program that Dan Lanning built is going to be special in the future. Obviously, the playoff game did not go the way they hoped, but long term, I'm still buying stock in the Oregon Ducks. Also, reports are out and they're saying Dante Moore is going to be him, so watch out. At number 2, I got Notre Dame. What a year. I think a lot of the college football public would have called you crazy if you were to tell them that Notre Dame would be playing in the national championship this season. Regardless, throughout the season, even in the face of a lot of adversity, you just kept seeing them winning and winning and winning after, of course, colossal week 2. It was truly a magical run, and what we can say was a great college football season all around. The future is very bright in South Bend, and Notre Dame fans should be very excited for next season as they return a lot of talent from this year's team. At number 1, to the shock of absolutely nobody, Ohio State. What a season for the Buckeyes. They experienced the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. But in the end, there was absolutely no dispute on who the best team in college football was this season. The defense this year truly stepped up and is a big reason why they were able to finally get over the hump. Obviously, the future is very bright for this team, and I'm really excited to see in the coming years what they do. If you like this video though, please hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more college football content, and I'll see y'all later this week. Thank you.